Three main types of incontinence: stress, urge, mixed, but how to know which one you have. Hi, it's Kirsten, and in this video, we're going to talk about the main types of incontinence. So let's start off with stress. What's stress incontinence? Well, it's kind of like when we have force on that bladder. So when we cough, when we sneeze, when we laugh, when we jump, when we do something like sit to stand, when we're doing a burpee at the gym, when we're on the trampoline with our kids, it's a downward force on the bladder. So it pushes down the bladder, and then there's some urine that goes through the urethra. So you get usually smaller amounts of loss, like little squirts of urine that come down onto the underwear. It could be sometimes larger volumes as we try and stop if we have a fuller bladder, but we could have a sneeze and go, oh, I just lost some urine. That's stress urine incontinence. Then we have urge incontinence. Now, urge incontinence usually follows urgency. What's urgency? Urgency is where you are just doing a daily activity, like say washing the dishes after dinner, and all of a sudden you'll get a really strong urge to void the bladder. And it's so strong, you can't stop it. Your pelvic floor does not have the strength to close the sphincters and stop yourself from peeing. So oftentimes, urge incontinence is much more catastrophic. It has larger volumes than stress urinary incontinence. Now, we get into a problem when we have mixed incontinence. That's a little bit of stress and a little bit of urge incontinence. When we have urge incontinence, we're trying to hold the Kegel, we're trying to hold that pelvic floor contraction so strongly because the urgency is so great that our pelvic floors can become tight and then they become dysfunctional. So we actually cannot close the sphincters properly. It's like everything's just holding on all the time. So then we have a cough, the pelvic floor goes like, I can't contract anymore. I'm already tight. There's no more power in me. And then we get a little bit of leaking as well. Or when we have stress urinary incontinence and we're trying to Kegel because we have a really bad cough and we become tight in our pelvic floor, which can aggravate the bladder, make it feel like it always has to go pee. We start feeling like we have to go pee all the time. And then we start getting some urge incontinence and some stress incontinence. Urgency is something that really does start the whole ball rolling with urge incontinence. So if we can manage urgency, which we'll talk about in another video, then we can really decrease some of these things happening as we go along. I hope that helps to clarify.